Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about two most important skills you must possess in order to become an independent truck dispatcher. So we are being very often asked this question: what kind of skills do I need to become an independent truck dispatcher? This question is being asked by some very different people. Some are retired truck drivers, some other might be related to someone who drives a truck right now, some are stay-at-home parent, some are actually people living in other countries that intend to run a business remotely, but they all ask this because they want to assess if they will be capable of learning this trade and if they will be able to provide this service to others. Before we can answer this question, let's recap what independent truck dispatcher does. First and main duty of an independent truck dispatcher is to find, negotiate, and book a load for their client, which is a trucking company. Second one is preparation of the paperwork related to the load you just have booked. This may include broker credit checks, completion of the broker carrier agreements, and potentially invoicing of this load. Third one is the problem resolution. Usually when something goes wrong with the load dispatcher booked, dispatcher ends up resolving the problems related to this load. Fourth one is not really a duty, but it is an essential part of an operation, and that is marketing. Every independent dispatcher must be able to market themselves, otherwise they will have no client and make no money. So let's recap. An independent truck dispatcher must be able to find and book loads, complete paperwork, resolve problems, and market their service. Now let's discuss what kind of skills you need to fulfill these duties. First one is finding and booking a load. Where do you look for loads? Well, most independent truck dispatchers look for loads on the load boards, which are an electronic marketplaces where freight brokers post the freight they need moved from point A to point B. Here the process is fairly simple. You log into the electronic marketplace, you set the parameters as to where your truck is currently located, where it might want to go, and you get the results. Then you start calling on the loads. Now, this process is really simple. I know there are some 30-minute long videos on how to use load boards, but in reality, it takes 5 minutes to get familiarized with how to set up a search, and that's pretty much it. So if you know how to use computer, you should be able to set up a search on the load board. Now, after that, the second part of booking process comes, and that's when you start calling brokers to get the necessary information about the load. And that requires communication skills. That means you have to be able to talk, negotiate, clearly state what you need, ask the right questions, and that will help you determine if the load is right for your client. Once you book the load, you will have to complete some paperwork. In most cases, you will either complete an online form or you will be emailed some PDFs which you will have to complete. For example, in our Learn Dispatch training, we are providing you with multiple samples of those documents and you can practice their completion. It is not a rocket science. If you do 5 or 10 of these, you will feel very confident with the completion of these types of documents. Afterwards, you may have to also submit an invoice to help your client with the billing, which again can be easily done with Microsoft Word, for example. So, nothing really special, but you just have to be a confident computer user. Once load is booked and paperwork is completed, we come to the problem resolution. While this will not happen on every load, the problems will come. It's just a matter of time. It may be truck not being loaded, truck is not being unloaded, there is a breakdown, there is a delay, something else. There is always some sort of a problem that you may have to resolve. And as an independent truck dispatcher, you will be basically in between a trucking company, your client, and the freight broker. You will have to promptly communicate and try to offer a solution to the parties which sometimes do not see eye to eye. So as you can imagine, having a good communication skills can be critical in this type of a situation. And last but not least is marketing your services. While you can utilize a lot of different skills to market your services, lately online marketing has been very, very important. So being a confident internet user is critical to fulfilling this task. Now, regardless of what marketing strategies you decide to use, one thing is certain. At the end of the day, the client or your potential client is going to call you, and that's where your communication skills will come to play. You must be able to clearly communicate your message and convince your potential client that you are the best choice for their trucking company. So, as you can see, we are constantly repeating two skill sets. One of them being a confident computer user, and second one is having good communication skills. In my opinion, these two are the most important ones. And the good news is, these skills can be acquired by you further educating yourself. So, with all that being said, we are going to wrap up this video, and I will see you next time.